Hey, what's up, folks? I want to tell you about a couple sets of dates before we start this episode. June 26th in New York City, I'm going to record a segment for the Risk podcast. I'm telling a very spicy story, a very personal story about an incident occurred about 4 months into my marriage with Ross. Also, July 18th weekend, whatever that weekend is, I'll be in Dallas, Texas, opening for Ian Fidance. So come out to those shows. That's at the Addison Improv. And then in August at the Empire Comedy Club in Portland, Maine, I'll be opening for Rosebud Baker while we're on a trip up there. So come out to those shows, look them up, and hope to see you there. You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I hate authority, but I'm a mom.
I'm an old man. I need orthopedic shoes.
The laughs, the chuckles, the TMI.
Some people might say, why would you have kids? The oceans are rising. The economy's collapsing.
And they're not wrong. I'm Ross.
And I'm Patrick.
And we hired a sitter for this. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 191 of
We Hired a Sitter for This. And guess what, everyone? It's Pride Month.
It's Pride.
And I'm gay.
Gay it up.
Don't be misled by this straight man I'm married to.
This is pretty gay. I'm pretty gay in this tank.
Also, I'm Ross Aaron Martineau.
My name's Patrick Holbert. Hello. Welcome. This is We Hired a Sitter for This, a podcast about our lives, about your lives, about the world.
Community.
Today might be therapeutic. You missed your therapy appointment because your therapist is sick. So if you want me to hold space for you right now, I'm happy to.
Don't hold space, please.
I was shouted out for holding space this weekend.
Can you put your nipples away? I know it's Pride, but put your nipples away.
My nip was out, peeking.
Oh, I got my Pride hat on. My gay bakery hat. Can they see it?
Bakery with an I. Ridgewood Queens, shout out to
from
them.
their Pride collection from last summer.
Really?
Yeah, because of the Rainbow Bakery.
Oh, okay.
And pretty much only lesbians work there.
Hot lesbians. Wow.
Angry. They want to hear your shit.
I will take some of that ricotta cream. What is that ricotta cream paste?
I have to disassociate for
Yeah, take your time. Stare out the window. I'll catch the people up. I did a videography job this weekend for a conference for therapists. And at one point during the end of the weekend, one of them said, I just want to recognize Patrick, who's our videographer. We're so happy he could come here and hold space for us in this way. And I'm like, I'm not holding space. The hard drives are holding the space.
Hey-oh!
Oh! No, I was holding space. I think I'm good. Part of videography is like arriving and being in the mix of whatever the thing is that you're covering.
Oh, you're good at that.
And kind of just like squeezing in and fitting in. And I do love therapy. I was engaged and interested in everything that was talked about all weekend. So I think they recognize that I'm not just some dude who's like,
no,
there's not enough light in here. We're gonna have to open those windows.
Yeah, you don't have stuff on your belt.
Yeah. I don't have a carabiner.
Oh
not
God.
A carabiner in sight.
It just clips.
Oh my God. And tape.
It triggers me so.
I didn't wear show blacks.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't giving tech nerd.
Yeah. And
we need some G5s over here.
That is a thing. Well, I brought G3s. I had 2.
I just made that up.
I had 2 G3s.
I don't even know what G5s are. I just made them up. And you know what? So did someone else.
Yeah.
So did someone else. That's what it's a testament to. It's all made up.
So I was holding space there for 3 days straight. So I'm happy to hold space here. And now
and I was holding space here for our daughter and our dog.
Yeah, thank God.
While you held space for a room full of therapists, and everybody is hanging on.
Yeah, and I listened to, I guess it was probably 8 or 9 hours worth of presentations on couples therapy specifically.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of an expert now. So if you have any questions, I can probably just, I'm certified.
Yes.
I have a doctorate now.
Yes.
After that one weekend.
And what you did learn while you were there is that you are completely in awe of me.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe. No, this comes from
Oh Lord.
Excuse me. I'm gonna get the names wrong because so I'm not certified. I think it was Martin Buber, maybe.
Not Buber.
I think it was Martin Buber, or it was John Bowlby, but I think it was
What are these names?
These are scientists and doctors and psychiatrists. I think it was Martin Buber has this whole thing about the I-thou relationship with your partner.
I-thou.
Yeah, he talks about how...
The Old English?
Yeah, you have to change your perspective of treating other people or your partner. Your partner is another person. There are people, and sometimes we all are guilty of this, where we treat other people not as people, but as items or as tools, as its. He says its. So like, you go to the coffee shop, you're talking to the barista. It's like they are a tool in your world.
Correct.
They are just getting you your coffee.
I mean, that's not correct, but that is correct how we see things. Yes.
Yeah. And I think if we're honest, we can all fall into that pattern of treating customer service people like, just a thing that I have to deal with to get what I want.
Well, capitalism has done this to us.
Yeah. And it is possible to fall into that with your partner where you just view them as that is a thing that helps me raise my kid or babysit the kid or have intimacy with. They're just, a tool. Or like to put it a horrible way, like I've heard people say this in a really cruel way, like, oh, she's just a hole, like it's just like a thing, So that's an awful way to say it, which I would never even say about anybody. So I-thou is about taking in the other partner as a full entity and person with their own life and their own goals and dreams and things they are doing in their own lives. And they talk a lot about how you can support that mental relationship you have with your partner by like getting really curious about them and asking them what they're doing and what they're working on and what's important to them. Not really knowing their spirits and their souls, the thou. So like,
is that what the words that they use, a spirit and a soul?
Or is that something I'm just kind of riffing here. Okay. But like really knowing them as a full person.
Okay.
And just staying curious about them and the curiosity, like really being curious, like, so and this awe state is a result of it when you can like stop for a second and just like really think. And for me, with you, I just know how much you're doing in your career, and you've come to the end of one of your trainings, and you had that big test yesterday, and you're multitasking, caring for our child while also like achieving these like steps toward your goals. And yeah, I guess I was just verbalizing to you that when I stop and think about everything that you're doing, it does put me in this awe state of like, wow, she's really going for it and she's accomplishing so much and she's healing women. And, we've been talking a lot about our jobs and which ones serve us in these deeper ways and which are most important to us and where we want to prioritize things and how we want to get to the next level of each of them and all that stuff. And you're just doing it. And
thank you.
I guess I was being a little silly by telling you how much in awe of you I am, but
I know you're being earnest too.
But I'm also I'm being sincere and saying like I recognize that you are pursuing a thing that I see the feedback loop of how it really fills you up. Like because I also have seen for both of us where we're like, yeah, I booked a whole bunch of work that pays well, but it doesn't light me up.
No, I want to tie brick shoes and walk off a short pier.
Yeah. So,
but the money's coming.
So yeah, it's cool to see you get lit up with passion about your stuff. Even just now, before we started recording, shout out to Everyone Yoga. It's turning 2 years old, right?
Yeah.
You were so excited to report that 4 days from now, you've already got nearly 10 people signed up for your class.
It's going to sell out. You better sign up now.
So if you want to go to the 2-year anniversary yoga class, go to Ross's class.
Yeah. Thank you, hon. It's very nice.
You're welcome. I should shoot couples therapy conferences every weekend.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't.
No.
I need a break. And as you were thinking about all of my accomplishments, the one question I got wrong on the exam was about GERD.
Oh my God, GERD. GERD is the word.
GERD is the word.
GERD, is it about phlegm in the throat?
Well, in the context of a baby, it is directly correlated to acid reflux.
Oh.
And it's a deeper esophageal digestive issue. Okay. One that is hard to diagnose because really what you need to do is have some sort of like, what do you call it? It's like a scope procedure, which is an endoscopic procedure, which is too invasive for a little infant. Little baby. So there are like medications, but it's like kind of trial and error. And some babies just spit up. Yeah. So there's like certain things you have to look out for to differentiate between spit up versus GERD. Oh. And I thought I knew the answer, but I did not.
Oh, sorry.
But it was a little tricky, though.
So you only got a 49 out of 50. What a fucking failure.
You know what's funny, though? I kind of like being in that space.
Little imperfection.
Yeah, like I was never... Here we go. Me talking about school again.
Well, real quick, set us up. What was this? What are we talking about?
So I took an exam yesterday online for my integrative lactation and feeding specialist program. Mm-hmm. So as opposed to a certified lactation counselor, which is what a lot of doulas also get, this is a different program that doesn't just consider lactation. It considers all forms of feeding your baby, whether it be formula, bottle, a combination of all things.
Twinkies? Can we feed them Twinkies?
My hon.
I'm just putting a little something in there.
A little splash of just dad humor, throwing it in there.
Can you believe Twinkies have been discontinued?
Have they?
I think so, yeah. I don't think you can find them. I had a zebra cake yesterday from a pilot.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, why discontinue those where there's like literal like nightmare fuel still available to all? Like until the tube of toothpaste style corn syrup is discontinued, make whatever. I don't care. So yeah, I had to take this exam online yesterday. It was open note. Open colleague.
Yeah. So you did it in a co-working setting.
I did. And still we were stressed because my friend and I are both not known for our test taking abilities.
And you're like discussing each question as you go. That's actually better learning. That is
totally. And that's why it actually took longer, I think, too, because we were like discussing it and kind of hashing it out. And my friend like has a disability around math, like learning math, and I'm no fucking math master, but I was trying to I could see that she was just like shutting down. So I was like, do you want to like take a minute and really try to like walk through these problems so that it doesn't feel like I'm just giving you the answer? Because I could tell that was like bothering her too. Yeah. And I relate to that. Like, and I was saying to her, I was like, I don't have this around math, but I really have it around science. So like, I understand the feeling you're having right now.
And I assume all the math stuff is about like milligrams and milliliters and solutions.
But you always have to convert. For here in the States, you always have to convert everything to pounds.
That's so annoying.
So like when you first find out what your baby's weight is, it like Fran was 6 pounds, 11 ounces. So we need to convert those 11 ounces into pounds. If she was 12 ounces, she would be 6.75 pounds. So she was probably 6.7 pounds.
Right.
Basically.
I see.
Because 16 ounces equals a pound.
But you never have to.
Guys.
So you make the fraction.
Hello.
You're doing a lot of fractions. So she was.
Anybody who knows me, you hear this? You hear this? I'm talking math. I'm talking numbers.
Wow.
Okay.
We got fucking Sir Isaac Newton over here.
I'm fucking beautiful mind over here. I've got strings going to different forms of weight.
I was thinking
measurement.
beautiful mind, but for your level, it's just like if beautiful mind is a 10 cute mind, you got a cute mind. You got like an adorable mind. It's cute how hard she tries with her mind.
Oh my God. And like we were like stumped a couple times.
So wait though, if Franny was 6, she was 6'15".
She was?
Yeah, remember?
I'm mixing it up with
9/11 a.m.
with her being born at 9/11. Yes.
But yes, so 6'15".
So yeah, she was almost exactly 7 pounds.
It's 16 pounds and 15 over 16. So then you have to convert that fraction to decimals, which is
I'm not operating in fractions. We're just
really?
keeping it in decimals.
Which you're allowed to use a calculator for.
Yes, and of course, and they told us we could do this too. There is a literal breastfeeding app called Breastfeed 2. They didn't come up with a better
sequel.
name.
Breastfeed 1 was good. It just had a slow start.
They were like, time to kick it up a notch. But you can literally put in pounds and ounces and it'll like convert everything for you, like from start to finish.
Yeah.
So we did a few on our own and then the clock was ticking down because we were taking too long talking. I was like, fuck this, get out Breastfeed 2.
Yeah.
We don't have time for this shit. Because there's like a few different things where you have to, first you start by converting ounces to pounds. Then there's like, if you're trying to figure out how many ounces the baby should be eating for every feed in a 24-hour period. I mean, we're talking word problems here, okay? And word problems were not my specialty back in the day. The midwives that teach this class are really good about slowing things down, making things accessible, but I think there are times where they forget that they're just talking to like laymen.
Yeah.
So I like jokingly kept being like, I don't think they know I've been in the fashion industry for 14 years.
Yeah.
Like, because they'll just use like medical terminology. Like, what's the differential? I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What's that? What's that now?
A what now?
Or a contradiction. I think that's how you say it. Which is basically
contraction?
Like, no, a contradiction, which is like something, I'm going to fuck this up. Like, basically, what is something that, like, what would be a reason you could not medically breastfeed? That's a contradiction.
Okay.
So, like, active HSV, or no, not HSV. It would be like active lesions. I don't know if it was on the genitals or on the breasts.
HIV?
Well, actually, active HIV, that is not a contraindication
Because it doesn't
everywhere.
It doesn't go through the milk.
Well, there's different medications you can take that if there's no sign of it, it might be worth the risk in a country where they do not have clean water.
I see.
So, like,
if you have HIV, it's just do formula. Not even worth risking it.
If you have clean water.
Right.
If you don't have clean water and the tests are coming back that it's like negligible, then maybe you breastfeed.
And these are such extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Like if you get a client who has any of these issues, you're going to have a lot of people to ask for help.
And like, it's out of my scope.
Yeah.
Like I just need the knowledge, but like if anything like that were to come up, I'd be like, you should go see your doctor. Like I'm not this like short course I took is not.
You're like, listen, I'm just learning decimals. I can't help with HIV. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of it is just like knowing the resources, but like by no means am I an expert. So, but yeah, it feels cool to like, you know a little bit more and feel like I have a lot more information at my fingertips to help my postpartum clients. And, and
do you think after this is done, you would take on just breastfeeding clients?
Lactation clients is what we say. Feeding and lactation clients. Yeah, I would offer it. I probably, there's like levels to it all. So I also don't know how comfortable I would be like, weighing a baby. Like some people in my class are like buying their own like weighted scales, like so that
like a luggage scale, like you put them in a bag and you hang it.
It's like a fish hook scale, they call it. And so a lot of, but I know this to be like the highest tier, which are called IBCLCs, International Board Certified Lactation Counselors, who go to school for years. They do a lot of weighing before and after a baby feeds. And so then there's like a mathematical equation for that to figure out how much the baby's intaking from the breast, because that's like a whole thing too. People that are predominantly body feeding, you don't know how much the baby is getting technically, but by weighing, you can figure it out through this equation. Is this still interesting to people?
It's crazy. I learned an interesting thing at the conference about like trainings and certifications and things like that. A lot of the people attending this thing were getting college credits or certain some kind of hours. I don't know if it was college credit. I don't want to misspeak, but CEUs or something they called it. They were getting some kind of hours that count to something else. Maybe within their major or within. Yeah. But a lot of, they were all, I think, practicing therapists already.
But
so like,
you're constantly having to get like recertified and updated credentials and shit.
And like that guy I just had to email, I was looking at his page and he's got like 30 different certifications listed, and it's just so fascinating. And it is helping me be even more clear with myself that I don't want to keep doing the coaching work. Because one of the agencies asked me the other day, like, send us your certifications. And I'm like, well, I did this training and this training, and one of them had a certification, but like, I don't know, here's those.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, that's not what my life is about.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, at least now for this work, like, I'm enjoying it because it is still learning for me and getting the information that I want.
It's totally in line with what you want to do.
But I mean, I know a lot of people that they've been doing these types of jobs for years. And I'm thinking about like even my own therapist who has so many years of experience. And then it's like, oh, I have to take this freaking recertification test or whatever. And I've heard with the IBCLCs too, there's like a lot of racket around certification, like taking a test every once in a while, blah, blah, blah. And one of the women who's also a midwife, they've been going to school for a long time. You have to be a nurse first, then you go to midwifery school. Midwifery. And
it's midwifery university.
And they talk so much shit about going to IBCLC school because it's like really intense. It's a really long time. You have to put in all these hours. It costs a lot of money. And then you're like not even able to like prescribe anything. Like they were saying it requires a lot more work than some other like medical certifications, but then like you're not really respected and you're not allowed to prescribe anything. Yeah. So like they still, even though they know certain things, they would recommend to help induce lactation or support lactation, they still have to outsource that to somebody else, even though they've been like going to school for years to do it. So, and they're very quick to be like, it's bullshit, like, which is something I like about the women that ran the program, because they're just like, you have to jump through hoops, like it's just part of the deal, whatever. Yeah. But I also feel like these are people that now I have in my corner forever and like as a resource, which I really like. They added me to their doula directory, which was really nice.
The Dollar Doulas.
The Dollar Doulas. It's not called that. It's called Manhattan Birth Doula Directory.
Do you have that interview or something right now?
Oh, shit. Let's look.
I think it was 11:30.
Yeah.
We're at 11:42. Wow, we're getting behind the scenes here, you guys.
You can edit this part out, right?
Well, I guess I should. All right, we'll pause. Hey, what's up? We're back. Through movie magic, we are picking up right where we left off. How'd it go, Ross? Okay. You can see she's not here. It went so poorly, she disappeared. She abandoned our family. Hey, what's up? It's me, Patrick. I'm checking back in after we had to cut the other episode short. Everything's okay. I think the call went well for Ross's phone interview. It is the next day right now. It's 8:55 a.m. on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025, and Ross is at yoga. I'm here at home. Peggy's over there. She's not framed in the shot. I would pan over, but I am the producer, the host, the camera operator, the sound engineer. I'm doing all the jobs, and right now I have to keep hosting. I honestly can't remember everything we talked about yesterday, but felt like sort of a catch-up episode with Ross and I, just talking about our respective weekends. And the big goal, the big idea was that we would just record the rest of the episode at night. But, of course, the day got away from us. She went to see a doula client. Where did she go? No, she had physical therapy. She's got a neck issue. Ross has had a neck issue for about 65 years. And she's seen doctors and acupuncturists and physical therapists. So she's doing some physical therapy on her neck right now. But maybe she could tell you more about that next time she's on. So, yeah, she went out to do that. I stayed here. I did a bunch of video editing yesterday for one of my social media clients. I can't believe I'm a social media video producer right now, but I actually really like it. This woman makes these great little videos about mental health. She's a therapist, and they're actually really helpful for me to watch the footage, and it's a nice little job. It's fun work. It's not that challenging. It's time consuming. I think that's the biggest thing. And she can pay on time and pay for my time. So it's nice. So anyway, that's how I spent my day. And then I went and picked up Franny from school. And I was thinking about what I could talk about alone here. And I thought I guess I would just share this story that of an event that occurred last week. I think the day after we recorded last week's episode. It was on Wednesday morning of last week. Which was the day before my trip to Virginia where I had this shoot. So I wanted to maximize my time with my family. So Wednesday morning, we don't have a perfect system for who's doing what in the mornings. We sort of all have our roles, and, oftentimes I'm making lunch while Franny eats breakfast, and we pack up her backpack, and some mornings Ross will drive her to school and drop her off. On the other mornings, I'll bicycle her to work and drop her off. And on that Wednesday morning, for one reason or another, we decided to get in the car together. We all drove together so that we could spend more time together. But we were running late. At 8:05 a.m., the door to the school closes. The kids have to go in, and if you don't make it by 8:05, you have to go around to the front of the building and go to this certain desk and check them in late. So when I was parking the car about a block away from where she enters the building, we decided, all right, Ross and Franny, you guys run ahead while I try to get this car legally parked. And I said goodbye to Franny. And at first it was like, oh, I'll just wait out here in the car. But then, I don't know. I immediately started missing her, and I was like, let me jog up. And I parked quickly, and then I jogged up and I joined them as they were entering the building. Well, as they were approaching the building from about a block away. As I'm running up, so I have to explain the sort of layout. This is not, her school is on a city block. Like the school I grew up in, there was a big traffic loop in front of the school. It was like a big parking lot. So you would pull into the school parking lot, in elementary school at least, and there was a big loop that the buses would all pull up in, and people would get out of the bus and go to school, or the parents would park at a certain point and the kid would walk into the school. Her school is on it's on 3 one-way streets, and the main avenue that a lot of people stop to drop their kid off at the door she goes in, at least for her grade level, it's a one-way avenue. And there's a lot of like traffic tension, and if you don't do it right, you can really block a whole bunch of people behind you. And we don't even do that. We park like a block away and then walk over because of how hairy it is over there. So anyway, we're approaching the school, and I can see there's conflict. There's a a little black SUV, like a Honda something or other. I don't know. I'm trying to describe it. I don't want to like identify these people involved in this, but there's a small, like dark colored SUV, and there's a woman leaning in the passenger, and this SUV is facing us, like, because we're walking down the avenue. Traffic is flowing this way. We're on the sidewalk, of course. So this car's pointed up the avenue, and we're approaching it from probably 50 feet away. We have like another street we have to cross, and we're approaching, and I see this woman leaned into the car, and she's shouting at the man who's at the driver's seat of this car, and there's a black cloud of negativity over this whole thing. Like, there is conflict, and then I can hear that the woman's shouting from inside the car. Like, her head is in the window. She's shouting. I can't make out what exactly she's saying. And then I see her lunge at the guy. And I don't know what the lunge was, but it turns out she was like she was smacking the guy's phone out of his hand, because I think he went to take a picture of her as she's like in his car verbally assaulting him or whatever's going on. And by the way, I want to give a disclaimer that this story might be riddled with my own biases, my own misogyny, my own racism, probably somehow. So this is I have to tell this story very carefully. What classism? There's probably a lot of like prejudice and bias that will come out here, and I'll try to be honest about it as I proceed. So anyway, she swats the phone, and that's when I see the guy clearly get physically upset, and he dramatically takes off his seatbelt, and he jumps out of the car, and he circles around his own car to meet the woman around the other side of the car. And that's when I once I saw the phone swat and whatever, I could tell things were going to get bad fast. And as this is unfolding, we're getting closer and closer the whole time. We're getting closer to the gate that our kid goes in, and to the door that she goes in, the back of the school. And the way the guy jumped out of the car, it looked like all he wanted to do was come around the car and like hit a woman. So I ran up to get in between the two of them. And at that point, I think when I started running toward it, I sort of lost sight of Ross and Franny, and I didn't really know exactly where they went, but they did peel down and go down the stairs. And this guy, and at this point, as our kid is walking past this conflict, by the way, there are dozens and dozens of other families bringing their small children into the school at this moment. From like 7:55 to 8:05. It's dozens and dozens in her door. It's probably like 50 different families are bringing in kids to that door. There's probably a few hundred families walking to the building in general, because there's like multiple doors. So there's just like a lot of small families and small kids around. And as we do get on the block where the shouting match is happening, sort of before the phone gets swatted, you can hear what the woman is screaming, which is, "You can't, or don't call me an effing N-word." But she's using the full words, of course. She's saying, "Don't call me an effing N-word." And within the first few seconds of hearing it, we can hear that she's repeatedly saying that. And I guess this is where I'll describe that the woman is, in fact, a black woman who's probably in, I'm going to guess, early 60s. The story, the narrative that I've set up is that this is someone's grandmother who dropped them off at school. That's just like the age range seems like probably a grandmother pitching in, dropping off the kid at school. The guy is a Latin American, South American man, also up in age, like probably late 50s, early 60s, bigger, husky guy, a little bit of a salt and pepper hair, glasses, Samsung phone. I think a Samsung phone, some kind of phone that's like not a young person's phone. I don't know. This is definitely like information that probably doesn't make any sense, but I could tell just like the font size on his phone, because when I got up close to him, he's showing her he's saying, well, you hit my phone, and I'm looking at it's got a large font, he's probably a grandpa, so I'm assuming that these were two grandparents dropping off young children, and the guy looks like he's going to hit this woman. So I get in between them, and English is not his first language, but he is speaking English. And the dialogue for what felt like 30 minutes, it was probably literally 90 seconds that I was even involved, but it was her repeatedly screaming at the top of her lungs, he called me an effing N-word, you can't call me an N-word, and him saying, you punched my phone, you hit my phone. So he never did deny that he said the N-word or called her the N-word. But for some reason, the whole time, I'm in my head thinking, de-escalation in this scenario, what's most important is this lady stops saying what she's saying. And I never told her to stop yelling. I never did tell her to stop doing anything. All my energy was on the guy. I'm like physically touching the guy in the shoulder. I kept saying, you need to get back in the car. You have to go. You have to go away. Get back in your car. Get back in your car. And he kept sort of coming toward her more. I was never physically restraining him. I think he, I don't know, possibly he enjoyed knowing that I was this physical barrier between the two of them, so they could both keep just shouting these things at each other. And yeah, part of me was just like, she's going, you can't call me an effing N-word. You can't call me an effing N-word. And in my head, I'm thinking, I really wish she would stop saying that. And that's where I know this is a problem for me, because I'm sort of like, well, did he really call her that? Like, I'm sort of like doubting the truth of whatever's going on, or the veracity of her claim that he called her that. And that I'm admitting by saying this, I'm in my head about, why would I doubt that this guy said this to her? Why would I doubt her word against his? Because who knows what was said when she was leaned inside the car. By the way, who knows what even started this whole thing? We don't even know what started it. And I think I just wanted her to stop shouting that, because there were so many small kids around. And that's what I said to him too. I said, there's too many kids. There's kids everywhere. You guys got to stop. You got to get in the car. You got to go away. There's kids everywhere. Hey, sorry to interrupt this story, but I do have to cut you off right there, because you're not a Patreon member. If you're a Patreon member, you can spend as little as $2 a month to be able to hear the entirety of these episodes. So if you want to hear the rest of this educational discussion about race relations in America, please do sign up for the Patreon. Yeah, I think it's $1.99 a month to listen to the entire episodes. $5 a month gives you access to all the bonus materials. We've got bonus episodes of Ross and I on there. We both have bonus content. There's some doula content from Ross. There's some comedy sets of mine, and we're going to be putting more and more stuff on there. So please do sign up for the Patreon. It helps us support this podcast and our lives. So please do it. And thank you so much to the new member. We now have 4 patrons. We know 2 of them personally, and there are 2 strangers. We think I don't know who the 2 other people are, but I just want to say thank you to all of you who are on there. And, yeah, just like it feels really cool that people that don't know us personally are like, oh yeah, I'll send these people money because I like hearing them talk. We're grateful for it, and we hope you're enjoying it. And please do message me directly on Patreon if you ever have any issues or you want something different or more of something, because we want to make this worth your. We know everybody works hard for money, so we want to give you what you want. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.